Okay. Okay, welcome to the messaging aspect. Now, with messaging, the second part of the AMO method. Now, we've talked about audience, the things you should know about them. Now, messaging is how you are able to communicate with them, how you're able to show them that, hey, I'm an expert at this, hey, you should listen to me, hey, you should learn from me. Whoa. This is bad. Okay, welcome. Now, what messaging? Now, this is the part a lot of entrepreneurs get wrong. Now, when you talk about messaging, a lot of entrepreneurs think is, oh, I need to learn the latest style of copywriting. I need to learn this sales tactic and that sales tactic and this strategy and that strategy. That's really not what makes people buy. I'll be very honest with you. That's not what makes people buy. Now, messaging is simply a way of communicating your value to those you can really help. Now, you've defined your audience. How do you let them know that, hey, I'm an expert, hey, reach out to me, or hey, this thing I'm selling will help you, this stuff I'm selling will really help you? It's under messaging. And that's why you should pay attention to this part, because what I'm going to say here is more like, no one talks about it. Now, there are two content types you need to put in out as an entrepreneur that sells transformation in form of coaching, mentorship. You want people to pay for your program, you want clients to hire you for your services. Now, the first kind of content is influencer content, and number two, expert content. Now, there are a lot of influencers we love. Yeah, we love them, we like knowing more about them. But if they try to sell to us, we're like, nah, I like you, I like the way you behave, but I don't think you know enough to teach me. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs, when you give out content that is solely based on influencer building, you want to build in this kind of influencer feeling with your audience, they would really love to. They would watch you, people will crowd you. But when it's time for them to give you their money, you're like, nah, is this guy, does he really know what he's saying? Now, there are now the class of entrepreneurs that give out so much expert content. They don't give out influencer content. So people are like, this guy knows his stuff, but I don't just feel good. Like I don't like his way. I don't really feel connected to him. And that's why you have to be doing these two at the same time. Positioning yourself as an influencer and also as an expert. Now, what kind of content would you put out? Because we're talking about messaging here. It's between you and those who you can actually help. Now, under influencer kind of content, that's story kind of content, where you share your story. As I see a lot of influencers, I just study them IG, they talk about their stories, maybe their grass to grace stories, how they started, what they went through, or most times what they did that day or that week or something. They are always readily sharing their story. And that's what you want to do as an entrepreneur. You want to be constantly sharing your story because that's what connects you to your audience. People buy from those whose story they feel resonate, that they resonate with, that they feel connected with, that they feel this authenticity. You want them to see you as this transparent person who really understands them, not this God high up that knows everything in the world. Yeah, that's why most entrepreneurs that give out expert content, they reach out to me and they're like, I give out so much value. I teach people, I tell them a lot of valuable stuff. But they still don't pay for my courses. It's more than that, bro. It's more than that, babe. It's more than that. You want to be balancing these two. I'm going to tell you kind of content to balance them. Now, when I influencer, you need to talk about your belief system. What you stand for, what you don't stand for, what you believe, how you feel. Now, you don't just talk about things related to business or whatever area you're in. You have to tell them, okay, this is what I believe in, this is how I feel things should be. This is how I feel entrepreneurship should be. Because people want to feel belong. Before they purchase from you as a personal brand, they need to know if your belief systems align with theirs. Now, sure, there are some people that, many entrepreneurs are afraid of doing this because they're like, oh, if I talk about my belief system, so people might not agree with me and I'll lose some audience. Yeah, that's right. That's fine. You should. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything, and you don't want that. Because when you are able to polarize your audience, I call it polarism. That means you're able to separate those whose belief systems align with you and those who don't. Those whose belief systems align with you would become stronger followers. They'll become stronger customers who buy from you over and over again. They'll become stronger people who resonate with you. So those you can really help, you help them better, and those you can't help, at this point you're really filtering them out. Now, lifestyle. Share a bit of your lifestyle. Your normal day-to-day activities. Now, this is not about bragging. This is not about saying, hey, I bought this Lamborghini, or hey, I have this big house. Or no. You just want to show them you do what you teach. Different aspects of your life, you want them to know more about. And influencers are so good at this. They're walking on the road, they're holding their phones, they're talking to their audience. It's amazing. The audience feel connected to them. That's what you want. You want them to have the connection of an influencer to you, and then still see you as an expert, which we'll get to. Now, the fourth kind of content you should give out to build that influencer vibe is ask or invite content. You want to be inviting them to things like, hey, you guys want me to talk about this? Hey, do you want me to? You see that a lot, where influencers are like, whoa, I'm going for this party, and then I want some of my audience to turn up for this. There are 2 free tickets, blah, blah, blah. They're asking and inviting you. So you want to also do that as an entrepreneur. I can remember a time I wanted to see a movie, and then I posted it on my status. I was like, okay, I want to go see a movie, and if you're in Enugu State, reach out to me, get you a free ticket. Yeah, if you're part of my audience. Now, these are people I sold to, but I also did this to create connection I wanted, and you should do that too. I'm not saying it has to be a movie or you getting them a free movie ticket, but you want them to feel part of you, part of what you do. You don't just want to be like this person doing the whole thing, because you want them to feel that connection. Now, vision. You share your visions with them. What do you want to achieve personally as a person? And also you listen to what they want to achieve. And influencers do this a lot. Now, it's not just enough to give out this kind of content. Because if your audience only see you as an influencer, they won't buy from you, because people buy from experts. So when they want to purchase from you, you're like, okay, emotionally I'm attached to this guy, but like, why should I purchase from him? That's their logical brain thinking. And that's where your expert content comes in. You don't want to be one-sided, giving out too much expert content. You don't want to be giving out too much information. You want to balance them. So the content you give out to build that expertise so they actually buy from you is authority content. Authority content in the form of listables. Now, listables are like, okay, let's say 5 things you should do if you want to get rid of pimples, 5 things you should do, 10 things I learned, 15 mistakes you shouldn't make. These are authority content. These are content that people really are like, whoa, I never knew this. Yeah, you see that a lot. It's so much on the internet, a lot of listables. And people love listables because they love numbers. People love numbers. People love, 17 times, 7 times. Yeah, listables work so well. 5 things I learned starting a real estate business. 3 things I learned spending 3 weeks in Hawaii meditating. 2 things I learned eating at Mr. Big's restaurant yesterday. You gotta be creative. Don't be so rigid. Now you want to share your process or method. How do you get the results you get? How? You want to tell them. Now let me tell you something. You might feel weary doing this. You might feel like, oh my God, why should I do this? Like, why? Oh, they will know my tactics. They will know my. But knowledge is not enough. Now, knowledge is free. Knowledge is everywhere. But what you want to sell is access to you, your time. The time they spend with you. You can give them all the content. Give out so much value. They're like, whoa, I want to spend more time with this guy, and that's when they have to pay. So you freely share your process, you freely share your method, how you do things, what you're currently working on, the mistakes you're making, how you've got results for so and so person. Now you want to share your experience. Experience is another way to build expertise. People feel like those who are really good at what they do must have done a lot of things. So you want to share your experience. Those entrepreneurs who are good at sharing their experience are those who actually sell out the most. So you don't want to be afraid to share your experience. You want to freely share your experience. Then, I think I skipped one. Proof. This is another important part. Proof is more like, who are those you've helped? What are the results you've gotten? Now, I don't mean showing them your result like your bank account and all that. No. But who have you helped? Talk about those entrepreneurs. Give case studies. Show testimonials. Feats those you've trained have achieved. The clients you've worked with. This is proof. Now, solution. Give them solutions to their problems. Give them actionable tips that they can go and implement right away and get results. Yeah. Things that can really help them to get results. Position you as an expert if it comes from you. So you want to be doing that regularly. You don't want to give out cliche content, commonplace content that can be found in books and all that. You want to give out in-depth content that they can get results from. Because when you do that, what happens is they start craving your access, and that's when they have to pay. Now, value content. Value content is very common. Like when you say, okay, I'm going to teach you how to do this, I'm going to teach you how to do this, I'm going to teach you how to do that, teach you how to run a Facebook, and that's value content. Teaching them something they didn't know before, and you're making them understand it. Alright, so that's it about content types. Now, let's go to customer stages. I talked about it when I was giving the overview. Now, there are 3 stages your customers can fall under: the slow lane, the sidewalk, and the fast lane. Now, the kind of content you want to give out to those on the sidewalk, you don't know their problems, so you want to give out, putting out content that highlights their problems. Content like, oh, if you're having issues with Facebook banning your account, these are problem contents. Consequences. Hey, if you actually don't rectify Facebook banning you, they can ban you permanently. That's the consequence. What challenges are they going through? You want to talk about them in your content. Now, your goal is to make them feel seen and heard. You want them to be like, whoa, is this guy spying on me? Like, how does he know all this about me? Yes, that's what you want them to feel. Now, for those on the slow lane, these people understand their pain, their consequences. They understand all that. But they need a process. They need a method. They need something that works before they actually exchange their money for that. Here you talk about your process, your method, the way you do things. And fast lane, you talk about vision and objectives. Fast laners are those that they are the little 3% that everybody's competing for. Agencies with big budgets are going after these guys. Big companies with bigger budgets than you and I are going after these guys. So you really don't want to spend or waste your time there. You want to focus on those in the slow lane. Move them to the fast lane. And when they enter into the fast lane, their only option is you. No agency can steal them from you. No big company with bigger budgets can steal them from you. You're already the big fish in their small pond. So the kind of content you bring out to them when they're in fast lane is, okay, sign up for this. You answer their objections. You talk about the vision, what you want to achieve. Now, if you're able to get all this right, you won't be having any problem selling out. You'll be selling out easily. Even without this, most people feel, oh, before I sell out, I need to get this great, amazing copywriter or this sales tactics. No, you don't really need that. With these, you can actually move someone from being just a normal person who has just met you online to someone who's like, hey, I got to work with you. I want you to work with you. All right.